I don't
Kane, it's 1-0. We're fucking down. 13th in the Championship. The takeover happened, as I said it would. People will be... Oh, when have we got Leeds? Well. Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Your Football Show. Good morning. As you can tell, I'm absolutely knackered. I barely slept last night. I was up early because I've got to be out this morning. I didn't think I'd be able to pop out a video, miss lunchtime Leeds because I'm going to be out with my son and all this sort of stuff. And then, boom, Phil here has dropped an absolute fireball on us this morning. It's not Ryan Sessegnon. It's not Ryan Sessegnon that Leeds United are interested in. Apparently, they believe they can pull off a shock move for Welsh international and Premier League player who has played many times this season, Ben Davies. I'm really shocked at this information. And if you remember, we spoke about this the other day about the second name that Leeds United were linked with was finding it hard to stand up. And we were told we were going to get an article from Phil here. Obviously, that was on Wacko. We spoke about it the other day. It's proved to be the case. It dropped first thing this morning. There's loads in there. Apparently, the links to Borna Barisic could be true as well. Yeah, Jay, I agree. Like an incredible signing. Look, that's why I put the poll out. Do we think it's realistic that we can actually get the Ben Davies deal over the line? I'm a little bit dubious, but listen, Daniel Farke made a play for Welsh internationals. It's clear. Now, you know, when people say like, oh, he's calling out these young people, he's doing this, he's doing that. For me, it almost feels like with the man and management techniques, he's been bigging up the Welsh players because he wants to sign Rob Page's Welsh team. This is what it looks like. David Brooks still serious. He's not moved to Southampton yet. Ben Davies is one that's linked. Basically, we are the Red Dragons. It is what it is. So early, I've decided to make 2 brews, by the way. I'm your father. Early bird catches a worm and all that sort of stuff. I'd have been in bed, I can't lie, I barely slept, it's been rough. But, you know, all Wales aren't we in that. Let's, this is the point, yeah? This is the point. And apparently, someone's just said to me, and again, it might just be like little things, but apparently really good friends with Anthony, Leeds supporting family. It's a good one. Let's get it done. Yeah, let's get it done. Yeah, agreedly, but and due to the fact Reguilon has just gone out on loan to Brentford as well. Again, if I'm a betting man, Ben Davies is still a Spurs player come the 1st of Feb. But maybe Ange isn't done in the window yet, and he's still looking at bringing in players. They brought in Radu Dragusin into the Dragon. They brought him in, and he's now going to deputise at centre-back. Obviously, Ben Davies has been playing there. Udogi's back. It's just they've loaned out the kid Phillips to Plymouth. So it's just whether or not they're bringing another player, because I still think they're light in that area. Obviously, Eric Dyer's moved on as well. And clearly, Ange preferred Ben Davies over these players, like your Reguilons, like your Eric Dyer's, because that's why they've gone out on loan, because they can't play that high line that he likes to do. Of course, Ben Davies isn't amazing at it, but he's better than what the majority have said. Paul, hopefully not. Hopefully that's just you, and not me. Unless you mean in terms of my weight and you haven't seen me for a while. If that's the case, where the fuck have you been? Wales United, like it. Same. Listen, we will go through the article. We're going to do that, obviously. Make sure you check out The Athletic. Make sure you check out Phil's work. Paid subscriber here. So make sure you do that. But we're going to go through it all because there's loads for us to get stuck into. I can't lie to you. Genuinely, is it because you've just come back after a long layoff? I'm annoyed. Where have you been? Don't forget, folks, smash a like on the video. Naturally, a lot of people will be in bed and think that can't be right. Joe at 8:52, is he taking the piss? But please do smash a like, share across socials and all that jazz. Let's have a look at the article then that was brought this morning by Mr. Sir Philip of here. Leeds still prioritising fullbacks for rest of winter transfer window. There is a lot of information, a lot of names in here, okay? Last week's response from Daniel Farke to question about the ongoing winter transfer window were an exercise in avoiding the cardinal sin of over-promising. January was nearing its halfway stage. Leeds had seen more outs than ins at that stage in the window, and manager Farke tried to strike the balance between saying what should be said and not saying too much. Remember, everyone was saying, you know, we're not going to get deals done. People being worried. Yeah, exactly. Definitely. Big up, Hannah. Hope you're doing well, my love. Philip says, just smashed it for you, bro. Good up. Well, Chris, I'd have to tend to agree. That's why I put the poll out. But it's clearly we're making an ambitious play. Big up, Ryan Standell. Thanks for being here. Signings at specific positions will be helpful, clearly. But in predicting how the window might play out from there, he was reluctant to nail his colours to the mast. One thing I will say, Leeds United have been ambitious. We're not like the previous regime. We're trying to do things on the cheap, go for like poor deals here and there. Oh, we're okay, we'll keep Adam Forshaw. The names that have been linked are ambitious. Neco Williams is another that is in this list. Again, I feel it's ambitious because Nuno's come in and he's playing him. And he can play right or left, so it gives you versatility. They paid about 18 million for him just a season and a half ago. Yes, everyone says, but what about Forest's financial problems, which we discussed yesterday? But that would mean Leeds United paying his wages of about 80 grand a week. I don't know how that works. He was clearly optimistic. This is Daniel Farke, of course, that the time remaining to the February the 1st deadline would yield something. But I know the January market is difficult. I.e., we will get deals done, and I believe this fact as well. Being in the Championship is financially restrictive too, and having done a large amount of recruitment from this season in July and August, the key decisions, as Farke put it a couple of months back, the club's investment during this mid-season window was never likely to be vast. We're not going to bring in 5 or 6, yeah? Listen, January window is notoriously a very difficult window to operate in, and unless you're Forest, who are batshit crazy, you tend to not do as much because prices are at a premium. Clubs know what you need, etc., etc. But Leeds have had 2 more weeks to either top up their squad or push on with a group who, in fairness to them, have taken the club beyond 50 points with 19 of the 46 regular games still to play. Not that many now when you think about it. Less than 20 didn't even realise that the Farke project is in good shape and is not in dispute. Agreed. Contrary to what other content creators and people on social media might tell you, the project is well. Yeah, his handling of personnel is well. Archie Gray's just got a new deal. Charlie Creswell needs to put his big boy pants on and sort his shit out. And Jed Spence was a tit. Daniel Farke is dealing with things rightly, in my opinion. Big up, Danny. This window presented an opportunity to minimise the risk of Leeds or him being caught short. And despite the lack of tangible movement up to yet, the machinists in the background at Ellen Road indicate a desire to recruit. This is very positive. 100% it's a hard deal. Ain't no doubt about that. It's a hard deal. Their priorities have changed slightly in the past fortnight. Obviously, us ourselves were going, we need a 10, we need a 10, we need a 10. Rutter's dropped in there now. Comfortable there. They may be happy with Paveda, but they're still looking at David Brooks by all accounts, and he can play right, left, and in the 10. Predominantly on the right, though, and is a left-footed, so can play inverted if needed to. Checking on his left, which is a trait that Farke likes, hence why Somerville plays on the left, cuts in on the right, etc. Anyway, back to it. So we were looking at a 10, but as a result of 2 departures, which were not wholly anticipated, this is, of course, Luke Ayling and Jed Spence. Again, as well, just on Farke dealing with players, it also shows that he was willing to let Ayling go. He could have been an op and said, you're not going anywhere. But he didn't. He said, no, you've given service to this football club. You deserve to be able to be moved on. There was this crazy narrative put forward last night that Gray's only got in the team because his name is Gray. Did they not watch him? And it's also in my comments this morning. I woke up, checked my YouTube comments, and someone said, come on, Joe, let's not beat around the bush. It's clear Gray got in the team because he's a Gray. What? Do you not? Are you fucking dead? Are you brain dead? Like, do you not watch football? You think Daniel Farke goes, you're a Gray, you're getting in? He's been phenomenal. It's mental. Anyway, alongside uncertainty over what comes next with centre-back Charlie Creswell, but the broader wish list is largely the same. extra resources for the edges of Farke's back four, and if an appropriate target is available, the addition of an attacking midfielder. So I'm not going to go mad on that, yeah? Well, of course there is, Phil. So what do you think's happening? I would respond to you and say, what do you think's happening? What's Daniel Farke doing? Cutting his nose off to spite his face? Of course there's an issue. Otherwise, what's he doing? Tell me. What's his end game? What's the purpose of this? What's he hoping for? Because Leeds United are trying to get rid, because they'd have accepted the derisory bids that have come in. They want 4 or 5 million. So what's the end game of Farke here? Come on now. Anyway, let's get back to the article. Do respond though, and I will bring it up. I'm like you, yeah. In Farke, we trust. Okay. So the important thing to mention here is as well that if a deal does become suitable, then we will get an attacking midfielder. Exactly, Mike. What would be the purpose? What's the point? Why would he play him at Salford and now not play him? Clearly, something's happened. And also, there'll have been an issue over what happened. His dad putting it out on socials, Charlie putting stuff out, and so like. The manager, you cannot test his authority, because if you lose the dressing room, you're on a hiding to nothing. And Farke is down the line disciplinarian. He doesn't take shit, and I like that. I like that because Bielsa never took shit. Previous manager wanted to be everyone's best mate, and look how that turned out. You think Klopp takes shit? You think Pep takes shit? I'm not putting him in this same bracket as them, but do you think they take shit? No, they do not. They are the gaffer, and that is that. That's why he said, I am not a coach, I am the manager. And that's fine by me. There are vacant loan slots in the squad, and that market was where Leeds expected to get the most joy this month. This is someone they preempted. Our man Angus Kinnear was on record as saying, we will look to use the loan market. This is no surprise to us. Okay, now we're getting to the juicy bits. The attention they are paid to right backs is indicative of the way scouting departments have to be on their toes. Until very recently, Farke did not envisage making signings in that position. Before Christmas, it was never the intention to lose Jed Spence or Luke Ayling, let alone both. And again, this is where I, as a fan, in my opinion, have to credit Farke, because he is now, due to Ayling being a bit of a legend and not wanting to sit about and wanting to get game time, and Jed Spence being a tit, he said, you know what? I'm going to reduce my numbers for you. And Spence, for the safety of the squad and the harmony within the squad of Luke Ayling, because you're a bit of a legend, and you know what? So if anything, it's like, he's a man of principle for me. But that's just my opinion. But there seems to be this narrative that people don't like him, and I don't understand it. And I think a lot of it's due to the fact that people put their flag on the mast for Jed Spence, and then we're like, oh, shit. Oh, let's not agree with Farke and just keep calling him out for shit, maybe. Each to everyone. Anyway. The severance of Spencer's season-long loan from top-flight Tottenham Hotspur was the culmination of performance and discipline issues, marking the card of a defender who was supposed to be here until May. Farke had hoped that despite playing an increasingly bit-part role, Ayling would agree to see out the rest of the season, and with it his contract, but not being in the starting 11 in the FA Cup third round against third-tier Peterborough prompted the 32-year-old to ask to leave on loan for fellow Championship side Middlesbrough. Again, that's fine. Archie Gray played at right back in Saturday's 3-0 away battering of Cardiff City, and more often than not, the teenager has coped well when used out of position in that role. Jamie Shackleton is Farke's other option there, but Leeds have been active in exploring deals for external alternatives without getting a signing over the line. They're looking for a number one in the right back spot, which then frees Archie to come in and come in as sub for Kamara, be used in different games. And that's important as well, because he's played a hell of a lot of games, as we all know. Do I think he can make it through the season? Yes. You know, Daniel Farke's said as such, it's not his preferred position. He's a box-to-box midfielder, etc., etc., etc. We know all this. But it does also then bolster out the midfield options, which is a positive, right? Which is a positive. This is a deal I would love, but I've continued to say all the way throughout it that I just don't see how we get this one done. But they are long-term admirers of Nottingham Forest's Neco Williams, who they looked at in the summer, which we didn't know at the time. But his new head coach, Nuno Espirito Santo, has been explicit that the 22-year-old is not available. Remember, more recently for Nottingham Forest, he has played a hell of a lot of minutes, okay? Being used, obviously, he offers versatility. He can play right or left. I'm just going to get up FB Ref so we can have a look at his actual minutes. There are so many Williams. Let's put his first name in. This is true, mate. This is what it feels like, to be honest. And I've got my son today, so I'll be like, matchsticks in eyes kind of vibe. But yeah, my body, do you know what I mean? You know, when you sometimes you have to believe in the universe, because guess what? My body woke me up and I just checked my phone and this was the first thing I thought. And I thought, oh, wow. Well, I'm not going to the hospital with my son until 1:45, so I've got enough time to squeeze one in. Right, up we get, shower, coffee, buff. The universe works in mysterious ways. Yeah, so if we look at the last 3 games of Neco Williams, prior to that, it's not the last 3, but I'm going to show you Neco Williams' minutes just to show you that he is being used at Nottingham Forest. You can see here more recently came on 17 minutes against Manchester United, 21 minutes against Newcastle, and before that 90 minutes. Okay, so he is being used, and that's why I find it a difficult deal for us to get over the line. It'll be interesting to see as well if he plays tonight. Nottingham Forest play Blackpool tonight in the FA Cup, so we'll have to watch this space. But again, I think with Neco Williams, it's definitely a deal that would be done late in the window, like Ben Davies. But again, this is the 49ers way, right? They've got their apples, you know, all their ducks, laid in a row, and they're ready to go. It's just when they feel is the opportune time to move. No, but Mikey might not be available now, but could be available late in the window. They've already got a fallback. Connor Roberts is the fallback for me. I think it's ambitious, and we should be ambitious. We're Leeds United. I like to see what the 49ers are doing. They're not saying, and Phil Hayes on record as saying this. No, sorry, Graham Smith is on record as saying that they have their number 1 pick. What they don't want to do is move on number 2 just in case number 1 becomes available a week later. They're making moves. They're being savvy. They're being smart. We as fans might want it right now. New shiny toy. Give it me now. Can I open my Christmas present early? And your mum go, no, you can wait for Christmas Day. And that's how we're moving. So let's go here. Leeds have also been tracking another Welsh fullback playing in the Premier League, Burnley's Connor Roberts, who hasn't started a top flight game since October, spending the time since as unused substitute or out of the match day squad. So in response, Mikey, as we said, right, like that's a deal that can be done. But if they want Williams, they're willing to wait. And I'm okay with that because as I've said to you before, Daniel Farke's got, he did have a game a week. We've now got one midweek. We play Norwich right before the FA Cup game. But if he can get through each game week, looking at it and saying, right, okay, will Gray and Firpo get me through this? Now, he might have a change of heart and might have to push the button on a fullback if Firpo's out and Byron picks it up. It's then, right, we now need to push the button. But what we'll try and do is get through the month. Now that I have Shackleton, Gray, Firpo and Byron all available, we'll get through as much as we can before we push the button, i.e. we can afford to wait. Because am I happy with Gray and Firpo playing? Gray and Byron playing? Yes, I am. And so he should be. Because we've seen at the weekend when they played against Cardiff, we still had too much. And the fixtures that we have coming up, it still should be enough. But over the course of the season, of course, you'd like them to bring better quality of players in, better acquisitions, ain't no doubt. Now, of course, as I said, they do like Neco Williams. I find this a very hard deal to get done. I do. Even if Forest need to cut their losses because of FFP, etc., how does that work from a profit and sustainability perspective? Because we would have to shoulder his wages. Whereas someone like Ben Davies at Spurs can probably afford to subsidise some of that. Let's not forget, Spurs have paid all of Jed Spencer's wages to get him out to Genoa. They won't be as kind to us because they'll say, well, no, we can still use Ben Davies. Yeah. Well, no, you're adding 2 and getting 10 there, right? Yeah. But mate, I hope Kyle Walker-Peters does go Chelsea because apparently he's interested. Big up to Matt Scales. Hey Joe, afternoon from Australia. Thanks for all the content, mate. Smashing it. Appreciate you and all the people you get on the channel more than you know. Thank you very much, Matt. That means a lot. And thank you for your super chat. And afternoon from Australia. I was going to say good morning, but it's good morning for me, isn't it? Definitely. Let's do it. Tom Jones. Why do I? Yeah, let's move for Tom. Anyway, moving on for the rest of the article. West Ham's Ben Johnson is also on the list. The 23-year-old has seen relatively few minutes this season. He's on course to be out of contract in the summer and has rejected offers of an extension to his current deal. But Leeds would favour a loan agreement in this window. West Ham, for their part, would expect a loan fee if they agreed to send Johnson out. There where it gets difficult on that one, because Ben Johnson would then become a free agent. So our West Ham saying, well, we want a significant fee. If you're not going to take him permanently at a cut down price, we want a significant fee because we're sending him out on loan, in effect running down his contract. Again, the Ben Johnson one is a difficult deal for us to do. It seems like anyway, because you're then agreeing, and listen, we know this guy turned down like 80 grand a week or whatever it was, 60 grand a week, sorry. You want a parity with the likes of Fornells, Ben Rama, mad. So I'm not sure that that's an easy deal to do either. But transfers are never easy. People will tell you, oh, it's easy, just go get these deals done. It don't work like that. We're not playing FIFA, we're not playing FM Manager. It ain't easy. At left back, Farke has been has long been at the mercy of injuries, where Sam Byram and Junior Firpo consistently have fitness issues. The manager would settle for his resources there, but injuries have crept up on Byram since he strained a hamstring in a 2-0 win against Blackburn on December the 9th. Firpo has suffered even more heavily on that front and left the field at Cardiff with a dead leg, albeit that's a problem Farke expects to clear up quickly. You hope. What I will say is, history tells us with Junior, that ain't always the case. Okay? Yeah, 100%, but they're willing to do that, BP. They're willing to do that, and I back them in that, you know? But it's better than just saying we're happy with what we've got, like the previous regime. I would rather wait a bit and see if we can get these deals done. Now, in the past week, Leeds have been linked with Luton Town's Ryan Giles and Borna Barisic of Rangers, okay? I don't know if Phil's just putting that in there because there are links out there, but the Borna Barisic one seems a bit wild for me. He's 31-year-old. We're being linked to him under. I don't know if he's just putting names in there. Again, if you remember the bit that was on Wacko about, Premier League name being put in there. Now, there's many Premier League names in here, and also a second one that's proving hard to stand up, which, of course, is Ben Davies, right? Because it's a really difficult deal to do. Like it says here, they also have a speculative, again, it is speculative, and damn right it is, on Ben Davies if changes to the squad at Tottenham Hotspur. They may also have a speculative eye on Ben Davies if changes to the squad at Tottenham Hotspur. That doesn't make sense, that bit, does it? They also have a speculative eye on Ben Davies if changes to the squad at Tottenham Hotspur happen before deadline day, make him a potential loan target. Yeah. Now, I just want to chat about Ben Davies because I do feel that this Ben Davies one, it's really shocked me. And I think, the good thing is with Ben Davies, he can play at left back. He can also play at centre back. He can play on the left side of centre back to a decent level. He's played there in the Premier League, of course, for Spurs, who are a top 6 side. So in terms of his progressive passes, his progressive carries, his successful take-ons, it'd be fantastic for Leeds United. I think it'd be a great acquisition for any championship side. Let's be real here. Great crosser of the ball as well, and can get goals and assists. you know. So he would be a great pickup for any Championship side. Ain't no doubt about that. The only problem we have, obviously, he's played as recently as the 31st of December. Now, what I will say is, like, Spurs have had a lot of returnees from injury now, as we said. Udogie, you've got Radu Dragusin, who's just come in. Romero's back, Van der Ven's back. Minutes will be at a premium, but if any of them broke down again, they'd be looking to rely on Ben Davies because they have sent out. Reguilon's just gone to Brentford, that's going to be difficult now. We've also they've also sent Eric Dyer out to Bayern Munich, so it's going to be very difficult for them to do. But I just want to share some of the minutes he has had. Obviously, these are his most recent minutes, playing 90 minutes every time. You know, Newcastle, Forest, Everton, Brighton, Bournemouth, but a lot of that was due to injuries. If we have a look overall, he's played 14 times this season, started 10 games. Again, a lot of it due to injuries, but he has been, you know, a player that they have relied on this season. Now, would he have got many minutes had there been injuries? I would argue no, but he's clearly preferred to other players that I've mentioned. Daniel Lee says, from a Spurs fan, you must be smoking strong stuff if you reckon we will sell you. Not sell, loan. Yeah. Again, it is speculative. I agree with Daniel. You know, no, that's not him, mate. That's Reguilon. Reguilon's moved. Sergio Reguilon. Well, it is being reported. As I said, Daniel, I'd have to agree with you. I said the same about Neco Williams, and I sort of tend to agree on this deal as well. I think it'd be very difficult for Leeds to do. If you've been watching, you'll have heard me say that and heard me explain as to why I feel that that's difficult to do, because he's a player that you know they have used this season. So we'll have to wait and see what develops over the next few days, for sure. Another Wales international, so somebody well known to the potential Elland Road teammates, Joe Rodon, Ethan Ampadu and Dan James. This is an important point as well, right? Like, it's clear Daniel Farke has made a play for the Welsh international boys. We've been linked to David Brooks, which we're going to speak on in a minute. Connor Robertson, of course, now Ben Davies. You would imagine Ethan Ampadu, Joe Rodon are on the phone to these lads. Joe Rodon clearly will be good friends with Ben Davies, having played with him at Spurs and probably at Swansea. Dan James, I'm not sure when he was at Swansea. No, he was in the Championship, not the Premier League, but they'll know of. Yeah, they'll know of. Now, Davies can play fullback and left-sided centre-back, which we've mentioned. Versatility that Farke would benefit from in the second half of the term. However, it feels incredibly unlikely that Spurs would sanction such a move. Again, this is something that I've echoed, and as Daniel's mentioned as well. We clearly have a good relationship with Spurs because of, you know, your man Greta Steinson working there previously. We've done deals with them already, so that could, you know, help with any sort of transfer negotiations. But, you know, we all spoke yesterday assuming it was Sessegnon. That's a key point, actually. Does Ange Postecoglou, now that Sessegnon is back and has been used in the FA Cup game, see him as someone that can play fullback in his side? Obviously, he didn't fancy Reguilon. They do have Emerson Royale. They have Ben Davies. They have Udogie. Do they look at Sessegnon and say, yeah, we can play this guy there? Therefore, we would be willing to sanction a loan for Ben Davies. They've just brought in Radu Dragusin, as I've mentioned. But again, I don't know. I feel it's very difficult for Leeds to do. But it's ambitious. And I want the club to be ambitious, you know. If I'm a betting man, I think we end up with someone like Ryan Giles and Connor Roberts. If the club get their way, they'll be looking at Neco Williams and Ben Davies. That's very good. Do you know what I mean? So let's hope the club get their way. Daniel Lee says, Anne just told Sessegnon to look for another club. There you go. And that was reported yesterday as well. So getting back to the article, Farke's central defensive hierarchy has been alerted by the awkward situation surrounding Creswell, of course. The 21-year-old is fourth in the pecking order, and as a result of what Farke sees as a lack of commitment and focus, is being excluded from the matchday picture. Creswell wants to move on in search of more first-team minutes, and Leeds would seriously consider an acceptable offer following recent events, but they value him at more than $4 million and have no desire to lose him on loan to a direct rival. Much of the interest in Creswell is coming from teams at the top end of the Championship, including at least one side who are in firm contention for promotion, which I believe is Ipswich. All right, which I believe is Ipswich. Farke wants his squad to have 4 centre-backs in it, so any exit involving Creswell would have to be offset by a signing. Although Ampadu has featured in the centre of defence during the past 2 matches, helping keep back-to-back clean sheets, he has been a prime pivot in Leeds midfield, and Farke is not minded to take him out of that role more often than is necessary. However, I feel that he may have a thawing on that due to the fact that Gruyer played as well as he did in the last 2 games. All in all, defensive recruits seem most essential in the market, even though Leeds went into this window thinking an extra attacking midfielder might be useful too, which is where we go. They looked at Liverpool's Fabio Carvalho, but Hull City made a successful loan offer with a cast-iron promise of regular minutes. Obviously, we know he's never going to get that at Leeds, and nor should he just walk in and get it, to be honest. Something the Premier League club Liverpool insisted on. David Brooks is another player of interest, and though Bournemouth have been in 2 minds about whether they might be willing to let someone borrow him, their position on retaining the 26-year-old Wales international could soften as the window enters its closing stages. Here's a good point as well. What's going on with Tanganga? I don't know. Daniel Lee might be able to tell us. Yeah, definitely. So David Brooks, it went very quiet on David Brooks, if we're being totally honest, didn't it? And I was of the assumption that Southampton will probably get that deal done, if indeed they are still interested in him. It's gone quiet on that side too. And again, it sounds like Bournemouth are deliberating on whether or not to allow him to go out on loan. Now, the ace in our pack when it comes to Ben Davies, when it comes to Connor Roberts, when it comes to David Brooks, is the fact that we have such a core Welsh contingent. Not bit part players. We're talking Ampadu, who's probably future captain at Wales. We're talking Joe Rodon, Dan James, who's a stalwart within that side. They clearly have some pull with regards to these players. There's a lot of chitter-chatter about Ben Davies being best mates with Ampadu. You know, his family are Welsh. His family are Leeds fans. All this sort of stuff. So we'll have to watch this space. But look, ambitious. Imagine getting Neco Williams and Ben Davies. It'd be wild. It'd be wild. But I'd still be happy with Connor Roberts and Ryan Giles. So we'll have to see which way the wind flows for sure. So let's have a look at the rest of the article. So for Farke is a classic case of plates spinning as the window wears on, of a manager waiting to see how the cards fall. He made the point last week that Leeds are not desperate for new faces, but of course he's going to say that, right? And desperation is hardly the vibe around Ellen Road, which is a positive thing. We're not giving off them vibes. But any prudent assessment says that in specific positions, the club will be wise to cover their backs. It will be soon time to turn cautious optimism into firmed up deals. Yeah. So that's Phil's article in full. So basically, Leeds taking a speculative look at Ben Davies, the left back come centre back at Spurs. Again, I think it'd be very hard to do. We like Neco Williams. Again, I think it'd be very hard to do. It seems to me they've put an inquiry out to Connor Roberts. They've got him there waiting. A bit like the Kamara deal. We made Kamara wait. Why? Maybe they were looking at other options. Then they bring Kamara in. You know, Pirro. That was... You know, it felt to me they were looking at Cameron Archer, waiting for that. Okay, right now, let's go get Pirro. You know, there's loads of things that we don't know about, right? You know, it said that we tried to get Neco Williams in the summer. I wasn't aware of that fact. You know, it was just one of them names I look at. I think, nah, not a chance. You know, Ben Johnson, he's one we like. Obviously, Ryan Giles as well. Borna Barisic has been put in Phil's article as well, so maybe there is a little bit of legs to that. But yeah, it's an interesting one. Please do smash a like on the video, folks, if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel, get your comments in and all that sort of stuff. Someone says, we are a Gareth Bale away from being Wales at this point. I know, right? Just call us Wales United. Is John Hartson knocking about? Someone says it's wild, isn't it? It is wild, but listen, I'll take it. The Gary Speed effect, says Tommy Darko. Exactly. I like it. I like it, man. I do. I do like that. I can't lie to you. Wales United, indeed. I'm on board with it. You know, I'm definitely on board with it because, unlike the USMNT team, they have Premier League experience. They come in, and they don't even need Premier League experience. That's wrong of me to say. They have Championship experience, but yeah, it's they'd be great deals. And the key thing for me is they're showing ambition. There is a real distinct shout for ambition, in my opinion. You know, from the football club to go for. Because if I'd have said to you, we're going to go for Ben Davies, Neco Williams, you're like, what? Because I've said that. I said that with Neco Williams. I still stand by that point because he's playing. It's the same with Ben Davies. I think it's a real struggle to get it done. The only way you get it done is if they go get another body in there. But will they? Do they need to? Probably not. More pressing issues maybe within the squad. You know, just bought in Timo Werner, Radu Dragusin. They're waiting on Son to come back. Maddison, Romero. You know, they've got a decent squad there. It just depends on whether or not they add further additions. And look, 56% of you tend to agree. I did ask the poll, will Leeds be able to pull the Ben Davies deal off? 56% say no, which I have to agree with. I mean, do you know what it is, though, Don James and the likes of Marcus, who watches regularly, and that for any Welsh Leeds United fan, and of course we have quite a big contingent there because we've had some great Welsh players come through the football club, not least John Charles, of course. Like, it will be great. It will be great for them to do it. And it almost feels like there was a clear ploy from Daniel Farke to pursue these deals. You know, he's a Welsh lad. And then he's just trying to sound Wales. I don't know. Maybe he's making a play for the Welsh international job. I don't know. But yeah, it's a mad one. But look, I'm gonna put some names. I want you to vote in the poll. So if we look at the left back options, which is most likely, right? And I'm going to put the left back options that we know of according to Phil's article. So we've got Ryan Giles, yeah. We have Ben Davies. Who else do we have? We have Barisic. And I am going to put Neco Williams. No, yeah, Williams on there as well. I'll put Neco Williams on there just due to the fact that he can play right or left, and then we'll do one for the right backs as well. So I'll put a poll in there. Which is most likely for Leeds to sign at left back, and then we'll do right back. Okay, so you've got Giles, Ben Davies, Borna Barisic, or Neco Williams. All right, I've asked that poll. I want you to vote in that poll. While we do that, we're just going to have a look at some more transfer news that might be out there. But listen, if anyone knows who has their ear closest to the ground, it will be Phil, and these are the names that have been mentioned this morning. Let's just have a look, though. While you vote in that poll, I'm just seeing what's out there. Leeds think Ampadu was a bargain. No shit. Definitely. What else have we got? Phil here, Leeds United further loan move for Ben Johnson. Yeah, which we've just read about. Leeds are looking to sign a new fullback and will look possibly to bolster their attacking midfield area this month, according to Phil here. That's coming from the London side, and they're focusing on the Ben Johnson one. The Ben Johnson one seems complicated for me as well. Just because he's out of contract, you would think Leeds would take him on loan, we'll sign him on a permanent. But like West Ham want a fee, and if they're going to lose out on a transfer fee because they can't get him to sign a new deal, then this loan fee could be quite large. So this also throws issues up for me on the Ben Johnson one. It looks like Leeds United do have some difficult conversations. Leeds United shot move for 100k a week player who's blown Gary Lineker away. I mean, I don't need to know that bit, but yeah, ambitious move. We have a shock interest, according to Phil here, in Ben Davies, who can play left back and left centre back. Now, if we got Ben Davies over the line, I'm happy with that. In terms of we don't need to then sign a centre back for me, because he can do both to a very good level for the Championship. Do you see what I'm saying? So if Firpo's fit and you wanted to play Firpo and Strauch's out, can you imagine the back line, folks? Come on. Ben Davies, Pascal Strauch, Joe Rodon, and a new right back. It's impenetrable, but it's also great going forward as well. If Strauch is injured, again, this is where Cooper, and I think someone mentioned yesterday, you know, Connor mentioned that Cooper might not be here come the end of the window, and if we start to see acquisitions, and that may, you know, come to fruition because his minutes. I even think there's a case that if Strauch's out in future, that we put Ampadu there and play Gruyev in midfield again, limiting Cooper's minutes just because of his mobility. It's not there anymore. He's lost a yard like Luke had. Do you know what I mean? He was never the quickest, but he looks slower now. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, if we could get Davies in, it'd be unreal. Good morning to you all. Anyway, I know a lot of you are like, what the hell is he doing up so early? But I'm out this morning, so yeah, exactly. Tim, Wales at Leeds, John Charles, Terry Yoroff, Brian Flynn, Gary Speed, Vinnie Jones. I mean, Vinnie's English, but yeah, he definitely here. He played for Wales, didn't he? But yeah, that would be an amazing move. Big up St. George, calling all the way in from Thailand. Big up, man. Big up for that. That's a lovely comment. So the poll, I know it's only been out for a couple of minutes, but I don't want to keep you too long, and we'll do one for the right backs. Which is most likely for Leeds to sign at left back? Ryan Giles, 39%. Ben Davies, 26%. Barisic, 11%. Neco Williams, 24%. I think a lot of you have voted of which you prefer. Because I think Ben Davies is the least likely. Just my opinion, though. I think the most likely is Ryan Giles. But again, that would be dependent on Luton bringing in a player. I'm going to end that poll there, but a lot of you do think Ryan Giles. I am going to ask you about the right back now, okay? 1 second. Now, we're looking at there Johnson of West Ham. We're looking at Roberts of Burnley. I am going to stick on there Williams again because... and is there anyone more? They're the 3 names, aren't they, up to this point? I believe. So we've got Ben Johnson, Connor Roberts, Neco Williams. Is there one more? I forget. We've been linked to that many now. There we go. Boom. That poll's out there. So please vote in that poll as well. Leeds United have speculative eye on Tottenham defender Ben Davies. It's a mad thing. Everyone ran with the story yesterday, didn't they, on Ryan Sessegnon, and someone asked me about it. I'm not sure. It was an opinion piece that got done, and then it grew legs. But there was sort of some validity to the piece that was done because we were interested in a Spurs defender, just not the one we all assumed yesterday. Do you know what I mean? Chris Moore update as Leeds United has hit for takeover news. Chris Moore, I think they haven't took Adrian, haven't they? Hibs, so we'll have to wait and see on that one. Fabrizio Romano speaking. That could be one we could look at, you know. I can't lie. Yeah, that's one we go for. Surely. I think Leeds United moved for this one on Tanganga as well. Tottenham have changed their position on Tanganga. The plan is to recall the defender as he's not playing at Augsburg. New loan expected. The Spurs want to find a solution for Tanganga as soon as possible. Surely that's one Leeds United move on. I'm almost sure that we make a move there. Definitely. if indeed they're willing to allow him to come. I think it would make sense. I know he's not played, but if we are, it seems to me like we have a very good relationship, doesn't it, with Spurs? Like, he can play at right back as well, right back and centre back. Again, it's right centre back though, so is that something Leeds United? But it's worth having a think about that one as well. Yeah, interesting for sure. Tanganga could be one Leeds United could look out. In no doubt. Big up Mikey for tagging me in that. The only problem with Tanganga is he's not Welsh. Maybe he has Welsh descent somewhere down the line. He might have Welsh descent. Let's have a look. I want to see if we've missed anything else. I moved too quickly. I mean, this is the one. It's a real shock this morning, weren't it? Let's be honest. It was a real shock. Ivan Toney's back as well playing, isn't he? It was a real shock this morning where we see the news that it was available. Just having a look to see if we've missed anything. Henderson's on his way to Ajax as well. That's a mad one. His changing of the game didn't work, did it? Big up to Scottish Leeds fan who's just gifted out 5. Yes, 5. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 Just Joe Football Show memberships. I can remember when there was a large Scottish contingent at Leeds. For sure, Davey. Yeah, Billy Bremner being one of the main boys there as well. Obviously, Eddie Gray as well, and many others. But big up to Matt, who sent a super chat in earlier on as well. I do want you to like this video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in and hit that notification bell. People who believe 66% believe that Connor Roberts is most likely the right back Leeds United will sign. I think it is. He's there. He's now waiting. Neco Williams, 17%. Johnson, 17%. We'll leave that one there. Please do smash the like. I'm out today with my son. I'll still will try and do lunchtime Leeds if I'm back, but it's highly likely that I won't be. I think I'm doing the other FA Cup replay tonight. We had a good laugh last night. Potentially could be doing Fulham. No, that's that next week. Blackpool Forest. So watch this space on that one. And then maybe go live after that. Just get your notification bell smash. You know where it's at. Okay. Make sure you like this video. Yeah. We did, Daniel. We've got Greta Steinson at the football club, so there's clearly a decent relationship there. And we're knocking on the door and saying, can you give us Ben Davies? No, not a chance. Tell you what, we might do though, and we don't know, do we, Daniel? For all we know, he might be getting recalled because he's going to be sent to Leeds straight away. We might not be privy to this information yet, but they might have said, you can't have Ben Davies, but what about Tanganga? Because he's not playing at Augsburg. So if we bring him back, we'll send him straight out. It happens. We've seen it already in the Championship with players like Scott Twine, recalled from Hull, now out. We've seen it with Sarmiento at Brighton, recalled from West Brom, now out at Ipswich. Do you know what I mean? So this could happen. So big up. Listen, smash it. Thanks for being here, Daniel, as well. Spurs fan. Thanks for everyone in the chat as well. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, and of course hit that notification bell. Have a fantastic day, and I'll hopefully see you a little bit later on. And thanks for the love, Alison, as well. Enjoy your day. Peace out now. I'm going for a third coffee. I'm tired.